Right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first .NET Morning Coffee in 2025. It's really hard to believe that it's already 2025. Um, so let's start from some. Let's start this year. Let's start this news, these updates from a scandal from that happened in the .NET world, and this is related to a quite popular library that is called fluent assertions, right? So, Volodya, I know you like such events, such scandals.
Drama.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, such drama, you call it drama. So, what is it about? There is a fluent assertions library. I do believe most of you heard or even used it. So, this is quite small library that allows you to make a clever, nicely looking assertions in your unit tests. That it was very, very popular, and suddenly, as you can see, 3 weeks ago, there was a pull request, very silent pull request, where the maintainer of the library just changed the license, and in fact, he made this library not a free but paid one. And it's really, well, I could say enjoyable, but obviously that's not enjoyable because we lost a quite popular library. But it's really interesting to read the comments below this pull request and how people are trying to explain that that's a wrong direction. They provide another examples like MOQ library that had to revert the license changes. So guys, what do you think about this one?
Mm,
I mean,
no,
obviously authors are trying to earn some money, but is it the right direction to do that? So will they be successful?
I hope not. Because it shouldn't create a successful case of such a bite and switch move.
Mhm.
It's another example of such a case. Like previously, we had identity server, we had
Yeah.
mock-U, probably a few more which we weren't aware of, but it's kind of curse of .NET open source community and
Yeah.
ecosystem. I believe what happened in this case is that kind of after sold rights to this repository, or probably after joined Exceed company, and they decided to change license of this project, and they did it in the worst possible way. They just changed license and just bumped version. So it
Yeah.
means that whoever tries to update it automatically without checking what's
We'll start
our
violating the license
yes,
agreement,
yes,
right?
yes.
I think NuGet package actually asks you to accept a particular licensing, or I'm wrong. So, well, I mean, at least from the Visual Studio when you do that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Visual Studio has this
Has
pop-up,
yeah,
but who read what is there?
exactly. I will
Everybody's
just
just click
accept it.
OK. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So now you need to pay 130 USD for a standard license because small business license, it's and the maximum of 3 developers in the company. So your company must pay 330 for the usage of this not a crucial library, just a nice, small, tiny, pleasant library, but not a crucial for sure. You can live without fluent assertions, right? Because even based asserts that we have in, let's say, X unit or N unit, I mean, they are quite okay. So, I mean, obviously, with fluent assertions, you can do more, but will I pay 330 for that? No, definitely not. Do
And
we
it is
have, by the
payment
way,
for what? For one working place. Just
I
basically
think
for
it's
the front of
for the company. I think
the
it's
company.
company payment, which is like well, for a PEM like 330. It shouldn't be a crucial, but again, why we should pay? Okay, so if we pay for this, then I mean, eventually another developer, maintainer of another library will do the same, and eventually we will have to pay for each and every NuGet package that we have in the repository, which is odd. I don't want
Yeah, from my
to do that.
perspective, like everything in this change is wrong, and pricing is maybe the worst because there is no way someone will want to pay such price. Like, okay, it's a very small library. It's not like
It's not like
Mono.
ESP.NET Core stack, like,
Yeah,
right?
it's not Mono for
A
Android or
backbone.
iOS size. Just small utility library for writing
Exactly.
tests. It's not even XUnit or NUnit
Yeah.
or
Well,
MS
even
test.
like paying for XUnit would be a little bit strange, and you will think twice before you do that. But for this one, that's not a good thing
I would
for
say
sure.
even more that from my perspective, the most useful thing in this library is the method should be equivalent to. That's it. So
Okay. Okay. So, what is then the proper way to earn some money? So, for example, you, an author and maintainer of a large project, open source project, like a particular NuGet library that is
Like
used
a
by
image
millions,
sharp.
right? Image Sharp. What did they do?
They created another version. I don't remember. Is it called
The
like
same?
is it the same library or is it just kind of different entity in NuGet with a different
Hmm.
version? But they continue to maintain old free version and started to create all new features into new paid version. And this new paid version is free for every business under 1 million annual revenue.
But
But like
I still don't like this model. What about, let's say, donations, right? So maybe the ecosystem.NET ecosystem needs some kind of advertisement to donate a particular person. Like, okay, so I'm using a particular library and enjoying it, and there should be an easy way to just donate $1-2 to the author of the library. So maybe that will work, and like people will pay because they would like to support an author, not because they have to. Right? It's a different
so I have
way
one
of
example.
thinking.
Recently on our project we started integration of mass transit library. Mass
Uh-huh.
transit is a very popular open source, very
And that's
old, like maybe one of oldest
yeah.
and most high quality libraries. It's open source. It has free license, and after is very responsive. He responds in all issues, Stack Overflow questions, discussions. He produces learning content, but by moment when you want like not just small fix or something, like when you want after to engage in your specific issue, basically to help you write production code or something like that, he has different option like paid support. You
For
have
the
to
support.
sign
Okay,
contract, pay
I like
something,
it.
and he will just join your call, help you write code, write code for you, fix your issues ahead of schedule in upstream. Yeah, I think it's
that's
a good
exactly
example.
the same model that was proposed by Richard Stallman. You will not pay for software itself; it will be free. You will pay for support for developers and all this.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's an interesting problem that is raising again and again, and I think there is no clear solution right now how we could um, have a free high quality packages, but at the same time, authors, maintainers will be able to get will be able to earn some extra money for their efforts. That's no clear answer yet.
one thought, yeah, regarding
Yeah.
it. Maybe if you have some core package with base functionality that will cover particular 90% of the functionality, for instance, for general purpose and for advanced topic, for advanced functionality, we will have some separate NuGet package. And for advanced functionality, you should pay. But for general purpose, I mean, for base some functionality, it will open source. And
Yeah,
maybe in
basically I
this
have
case,
an example of library which follows this approach. It's called Avalonia. They have core
Yeah.
framework which fits most purpose, but they have XPF it's additional stuff on top of Avalonia, which allows you to migrate WPF projects and make them cross-platform. And they provide it in a paid version.
Yeah,
and it works for them. It kind of pays their bills.
Okay, cool. Yeah, folks who are on the call, if you have some interesting ideas how we can solve this problem, please put this into the chat. Right, so let's move on. Another quite interesting and almost a drama thing is this update from Microsoft. It's a quite critical one. So .NET install links are changing. So why is it happening, and who is actually affected? So in case if you have some CI/CD or like complicated Docker files, then you might be affected. In most of the cases, you will not be affected. However, you need to double check. So what had happened actually? Microsoft used a CDN provider which is called edg.io, and the problem with this CDN provider is that they are actually started a bankruptcy procedure, and soon they will be out of business. And actually, Microsoft heavily relied on it in their Azure cloud, and now if you have anywhere in any of your passes this Azure Edge.net domains, then you are affected and you need to do some upgrades. So interesting situation that Microsoft relied on a third-party vendor, and this vendor is out of business now. Didn't expect that, but yeah, it happened.
And it affects not only NuGet and .NET, but it affects Azure itself because they
Azure
rely
itself,
on it.
yeah. So on the
as
project,
well.
we used this CDN, and now we have to do the migration. There is some time for that. There is some time frame, I think about 1 year. But yeah, quite unusual situation. Okay.
That's super fail. Your company got a contract with Microsoft to support all Azure, and you're failing.
Yeah. All right. As you remember, it's 2025, yeah, already. But in case if you missed something in 2024 and you want to recap, what had happened in .NET area. So there is a nice article by James Montemagna from Microsoft. He highlighted the most important news and articles from 2024. It's about obviously .NET 9 release, performance improvements, something about observability, .NET Aspire, of course AI, smart components, more AI. Okay, so you can go through this article and recap all the major updates in .NET from 2024. That's good. And speaking about AI, of course, we have some AI updates, and let's start from this one. So building intelligent apps with .NET and DeepSeek R1 today.
If you take a look on the article, support of R1 was added to Microsoft Extension AI. It's uniform library where that you are able to use to communicate with different models, and as a result, the hype model, DeepSeek R1 was added
Chinese
to it.
one, right?
Yeah, Chinese one, and you know what I
why it's
can
so
say.
Popular, Artur? By the way, I know you did some dive into this. So why it produced such amount of hype?
As for me, it's not something new because chain of thoughts has been living for a while. I mean, some reason, but maybe it's so popular because they spend less money to achieve the same as OpenAI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's why it's so popular, and you are able to use. And in addition, it's so cheap. You are able to pay not so money to use their API. Chat is free. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you don't
Chat is
need
free.
to.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's why so popular from my perspective.
So they basically did the same what OpenAI did, but
Yeah.
much more cheaper according to what they
Mhm.
told, right? But is it
Yes.
true or not? We need to check. Or did somebody try to justify if it's true or not?
Yeah, based on the benchmarks, yeah, it's true.
Okay.
It's so close, DeepSeek R1 and OpenAI, all models.
Mhm.
So yeah.
So as .NET developers, we can also start interacting with this model and have some savings because it's cheaper. Yeah, so
Yes,
everything is in
with
place.
Llama. Yeah,
Yeah.
with Llama, for instance, locally you're able to run, but in addition to it, you're able to use GitHub models. It's also for
GitHub
free,
models.
but
Yeah.
we have some limitations to use it in rate limit, how much responses you're able to do in months and so on. But it's also for some enthusiasts. So yeah, you're able to test your thoughts, your solutions, your POC for free with low latency. Because for local development, you need to have a
GPU.
good GPU, but on laptop I tried it on laptop, but it spent a lot of time to receive a response for huge models. But of course we have some different kind of models with different parameters, like 1 billion parameters, and it's so light, and as a result you're able to use this on laptop as well.
Do you know, Arthur, if it's possible to, like, I'm not sure how technically it works or not. I remember there were some projects which promised to deliver external GPUs that you can plug into your PC using a Thunderbolt connector.
You know, I try to order, yes, all kind of external GPU, but unfortunately in my location it's not so popular.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So
I'm not
Arthur, I
able.
can order one for you and then try to send.
Okay. Thank
So just let me know. Okay, so we have this DeepSeek updates. Also, it is another update on DeepSeek. It's nicely integrated with semantic kernel, Microsoft library, which is a very nice one. That's cool. So it's the support is we have
yeah,
first class support here,
you
right?
know, it's like we have a lot of Nugget packages, yeah, related to AI. It's like, okay, you can use semantic kernel or you can use Microsoft extension AI, and like, why do we need a lot of
So many libraries?
yeah,
Just
libraries,
provide
yeah,
us one library
for the
and
same
that's it.
things. Yeah, because
Okay.
Microsoft extension AI library, it's was written over semantic kernel.
It's over semantic kernel. Okay.
Yeah, just for simplify interface for interaction.
I'm not sure why
Yeah.
we have some, but I was really surprised that it is also available for a Python.
Yeah, semantic
kernel for
kernel,
Python.
yeah, for Python as well.
It's interesting. Okay, so more AI. GitHub Copilot for free. So, folks, if you didn't know, now you can, and you want to, and you didn't try GitHub because nobody purchased you a license and you don't want to pay from your own pocket. Now you can, but you still want to try GitHub Copilot. Now you can do that for free. There is no licensing limitations. There is a limitation of the capabilities. So basically, you can start a free version of GitHub Copilot. You can get it. There is a limitations listed here. So you will be able to get only 2,000 code completions per month, 50 chat messages. But again, so if you just want to try and understand if this library fits your requirements, then yeah, why don't just try and then decide if you want to pay 10 USD per month for it or not, or maybe your company will be able to pay. But it's it's free for you to try, and that's cool. That's cool. Obviously, that's not a lot. That's not a lot, but if you are not doing a very active development, and in most cases you prefer to rely on your own thoughts, your own skills, but sometimes, for example, you have regular expressions. I realized that this GitHub Copilot solves regular expressions related problems very well. It really suggests you, in most of the cases, very good refined regex, which you can just then try and refine in case if you need some adjustments. So why don't just try? That's cool. That's cool that we have this capability now.
Yeah, based on the project, yeah. If you have some project that think regarding the intelligence property, yeah, regarding your code, I'm not sure that you will be able to use it. But
Oh
for
yeah, that's a good reminder. So
yeah,
if the project restricts you from using these AI tools, or like you don't know, then you'd better to communicate first with your manager and get clear approval from the client first on using these AI capabilities, because like different clients have different opinions on that. Some just are scared with data leaks and etc. And I saw that in the chat somebody wrote a message that DeepSeek already got into the scandal related to the data leaks, which is obviously a horrible thing. Yeah. Okay. So this one, I really like this news.
yeah, it's really interesting when you're able to chat like, okay, I would like to change this and this in the file, but it will change not only in the open file, yeah, that you see, but it will be changed the related files as well. So it's why it's so interesting. Yeah, in this video you will be able to see some examples regarding it.
Yeah, so basically, you make a query, and so previously, so what is the current quite significant limitation? That's not a problem, but this is a significant limitation that Copilot works with only current version works with only one file, and all your asks are applied, or all your things that you're trying to achieve are applicable only to one file. But this one allows you to iterate to multiple files and add bulk editing, which is, I think, very, very cool feature. And for example, in one query, you will be able to make a significant refactoring of your code. Let's say add some usings, ask Copilot to, let's say, reduce the nesting of the namespace statement, for example. So it's still in preview. I think you can start trying it somehow. There is a way to do that, how to do that. But this sounds very promising. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about the OpenAPI. I think everyone likes OpenAPI. Guys, what do you think about OpenAPI? Do you like?
Better than nothing.
Okay.
OpenAPI is a different source of drama for .NET 9 with Swagger and so on. So yeah, I like it.
Okay, so we all like OpenAPI, and what we can do if we have OpenAPI, we obviously can do some smart things like client generation. And actually, some time ago, I realized Microsoft has an internal project. Well, it is exposed to the wide audience. It is called Project Kyoto, and this project allows you to generate clients for different projects, for different programming languages based on OpenAPI specification. Yeah, which is not a new thing. I know that there are many projects that does the same. So this one is from Microsoft. And if you take a look at the sample, you will see one interesting thing. Yeah, so if you take a look at, for example, this client that was generated, so you will see a syntax that really might remind you GraphQL syntax. So if you ever worked with the GraphQL API, then you will recognize same patterns. And this is because GraphQL client is generated using this Kyoto project. So for example, this one, I really like this syntax. So there is a client, you have posts, you have post ID, so you're specifying it as a property, and this is a kind of query builder, right? And then you're telling get a thing. So this is very, I would say, resty way of doing the requests. And what I also like that if you, let's say, if you decided to adapt this for the project, you will be able to have a standardized shape of your clients generated for your API. Also, it supports several languages, and I think it is expanding. And just an idea, yeah. Obviously, it should be justified properly. So you have a microservice environment, and you have API to API interactions. You have a user interface calling your backend. So you can do the generation of the client for a .NET and for a TypeScript, and then push it to your NuGet, enterprise NuGet, and to the NPM. And this could be done per microservice automatically inside your CI/CD. So each time when you make a change to your OpenAPI and CI/CD is run, then clients are generated and pushed to the repositories, so available automatically for the consumer. So I mean, quite interesting thing.
One more interesting thing that the Kyoto can do it is generate backward compatible code. So in case if there are some changes in the API inside Kyoto, it will generate the code which will be better backward compatible to not broke existing clients. It can be enabled and disabled, of course, but it can do it.
Yeah, really interesting project. Should we start using it or not? I don't know, but definitely deserves to investigate. This one is just a nice editor, right, Alex? I know you like it.
I don't say that too like it, but it looks cool. So
it looks super cool.
In case if you have some OpenAPI specification, you could paste it here, and it would analyze it for you and say what's wrong with it. And in case if you have some problems, it will say you how to fix them.
Yeah.
Kind of cool, right? The most important thing that it will say you how to fix. For at least for me, that's the most important thing.
It's a little bit slow, yeah.
Yeah, disadvantage of it, the UI is so rich. If you press Shift Escape, or is it Chrome or Edge? I don't know how to call the Task Explorer in the Chrome, but I need you to Shift Escape. So you'll see that this tab is most resource consuming. It consumes about 400 megabytes per this page. That's
I'm going to
huge.
close it as soon as it's possible. Okay.
But anyway, it is working, and if you need it, you can try.
Interesting to explore which technologies did they use.
I don't know.
This one, I really love this article. So Alex, thanks that you found this one. I think everyone needs to read it. So this is about HTTP client in C#. So you could say, what can go wrong? I can just use HTTP client and that's it. It's very simple. And yes and no. There are a lot of problems that are hidden under the hood. And so basically you need to utilize HTTP client in your application in a proper way. And this article, I mean, it's very up to date. It takes into consideration all the recent updates, and it explores and explains one by one all the ways how you can use HTTP client and what potential problems you might face with, starting from like just instantiating of the HTTP client directly in your, let's say, handler. So you will be able to come up to the situation when your TCP sockets are exhausted. static version, there is a problem with DNS changes. Then there is a suggestion to use HTTP client factory, named clients, typed clients. I thought like, okay, so typed clients, then generated clients, that's it. No, and that's not it. So there is a resiliency thing comes into the game, middlewares, and it's all described in one article, and it is very large and it is very detailed. And like next time when you start using HTTP client, you should remind about this article and make sure that you did everything correctly, because you might not. Very cool article.
Yeah, at least probably not in the end. Even in the middle of this article, you'll be confident how to create the client. At least how to create it and do not fail.
Yeah. And like even this recent Microsoft package also reflected here about the resiliency, this resilience package from Microsoft. Very cool. Very, very nice article. Must read, I would say.
I already added into my bookmarks to not lose it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. This one from Andrew Locke. This is actually a series of articles, right? That's not a single one. Again, that's a very long reading thing, and there are 14 articles, and all of them about creating a source generators. So I think source generators are underestimated feature of C# and .NET ecosystem, and that's not that's underused, I would say. It's quite complicated, obviously, but it's underused, and I think you can do a lot of clever things with source generators, especially if you're a library author. Microsoft actually is trying to incorporate a lot of source generators into the .NET ecosystem. The most obvious one is regex, right? So instead of having regexes in a regular way that we had that are not very performant, now there is a regex source generators available, and if you use them, then your regex will work much faster. That's my understanding, at least.
Yeah, but it is. You should agree that it's kind of niche thing.
Niche.
It is not daily basis exercise that you're doing.
It's not like, okay, so I need to add a button on the button handler for my UI, so let's write a source generator. No, that's not about that.
That's a cool idea. Need to try. And estimated at 8 story points.
Okay. Yeah, so definitely nice series of articles. And the last one, this is from community, some very clever guy from community. Volodya, I think it's your finding. What is it about?
About doing things which you shouldn't do in production. It's to write .NET garbage
just
collector
for fun, right?
in .NET, so you can collect garbage while you're collecting garbage. It's for learning purpose mostly. So .NET runtime exposes specific interface for garbage collector, and you can kind of plug and play, and you can implement it by yourself and do whatever you want.
So basically, you can replace the standard GC that we have in .NET with the custom GC, and this is available since .NET Core 2.1.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I didn't know that.
One of examples which were implemented previously by someone is garbage collector, which doesn't collect any garbage. It just allocate until
just
process
garbage
dies.
allocator. That's not collector. That's garbage allocator then. Yeah, so I also went through this article very briefly. So there are two parts right now, the first one and the second. So in the first part, person is this Kevin is telling that, okay, so I want to write a garbage collector, then I need to make it IoT compatible ahead of time, compilation compatible ahead of time, compilation compatible, because if you don't do that, and if you are trying to use .NET to write a garbage collector, then you will have a chicken and the egg problem, yeah, because then for your garbage collector, you will need a garbage collector to collect the garbage for your garbage collector, which is, yeah. But if you do this IoT compilation, then your package will be shipped with the standard .NET garbage collector. So then you will have a interesting situation. You wrote a custom garbage collector and you made a IoT compilation, and it shipped with the standard garbage collector also IoT compilated. That's very interesting, I would say, situation. Anyway, this is, as Volodya mentioned, this is mostly for learning and understanding how GC works under the hood. So 2 parts. Second part is about the real implementation of the GC. And it's just really interesting to see how this, on this attempt to implement at least a working solution that is able to run the application. A lot of obviously unsafe code. But if you want, again, if you want to grow up and you want to have like really deep knowledge, then this is an article for reading. And maybe, so the source code, I think, is available. I think it is available on the GitHub. Yeah, it is. So you can explore the source code, play with it, and even try to plug into your production. No, don't plug into your production. Right. Cool. So I think that's it for today. Yes, it is. So I'm going to copy paste the links, and I would like to say huge thanks to everyone who joined today. I hope you got some interesting insights, and let's see you next time. Thanks everyone, and have a great rest of your day and lovely weekend. Bye.
Okay, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.